Hello, mommies. My name is Christy, and I am here today to take you through a 20-minute prenatal yoga practice. As you can see, I've got some props set up that I just have around the home. A nice big pillow. I'm using a beach towel to sit on, and I have a chair for those of you who would like to have that chair there for support in balance. So we're gonna start just seated, nice and easy on a towel or a blanket. Just beginning to settle in, roll those shoulders up towards the ears, and then go ahead and slide them down away from the ears, down the back. Just allowing those palms to rest gently on the knees or the thighs. And just tuning in to your own breath to begin. Just shaping that awareness of your breath. Noticing the shape, the sound of those inhales and exhales. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. A few more easy rounds just like that. Imagining as though when you inhale, that spine is getting long and tall, and you're exhaling deeply from those roots. And if you do have your eyes closed, gently floating those eyes open. We're gonna try a couple rounds of alternate nostril breathing. It's a great breathing practice to relax and to recenter yourself, going into any stressful event. It's just a great way to come back to the breath and slow that breathing, slow that heart rate. So we're gonna use our right hand, and we're gonna take thumb next to our right nostril, middle finger next to our left nostril. We're gonna press down on the right nostril as we inhale through the left nostril. And then for our exhale, we'll close the left nostril and exhale out of the right. And then we'll repeat it by inhaling through the right, closing off the right, and exhaling through the left. That would be one complete round where you get a deep inhale and an exhale out of either side. So we begin with the right side. So we'll close that right nostril, take a deep breath in. Immediately at the top, close the left and exhale through the right. At the bottom of that exhale, inhale through the right. At the top of that, close the right and exhale through the left. Continuing in this pattern, we'll do 2 more full rounds. And when you're all done, releasing that hand back down to the leg or the thigh. Next, gently supporting yourself on either side of those hips, we're gonna open our legs up nice and wide. So if you want to, you can grab a pillow for this next pose and place it right in front of you. With those legs nice and wide and comfortable, easy on those hips, we're gonna begin to walk the hands down either side of that pillow, directly out in front of the body. And then make that pillow as comfy as you'd like. You can bunch it up, do whatever you need to do to relax here for a few breaths, just allowing those hips to open, stretching through that lower back. You can take one ear and cheek down, and just hold this here, noticing your breath. Once again, feeling that belly expand on those inhales. And once again, deeply exhaling from those toes, all the way up through the legs and the hips, through the back, up through the throat and out through the mouth. Two more rounds of breath. We don't want to fall asleep just yet. And on that next exhale, lifting up, walking those hands back in towards the body. We're going to move our prop off to the side for just a moment. Grab the backs of the legs and gently bring those knees together. We're going to come into a tabletop position. So supporting yourself as you roll on over. And if you'd like to, you can use this blanket now underneath those knees. So we're going to line up those hips directly over the knees and line those shoulders up directly over those wrists. Neutral spine here, lifting through the upper back, spreading the fingers wide. We're going to inhale, drop that belly, take a look forward. And then on an exhale, round through the upper back, tuck the chin. Two more just like that, nice and easy, nice and slow. Inhale. And exhale. One more round, inhale. And exhale. Exhale deeply, fully here. And then return to a neutral table position. We're going to go ahead and step back with that left foot, stepping onto the ball of that left foot. Then press the palms into the earth as you press back, feeling the stretch through that calf muscle. I don't know about you, but I had lots of Charlie horses when I was pregnant, with my third especially. So this is a nice little stretch and release for that calf. We're going to shift those shoulders back over those wrists. And as we do that, elevate that left leg, keeping that left hip drawn down towards the floor, flexing that foot, and then maybe reaching out in front of you with that right hand. Finding a little balancing sunbird pose here. Core is strong and steady. Holding here for 2 more rounds of breath. And replacing that right hand back down to the mat. We're going to bend that left knee now. Press the bottom of the foot up to the sky. Hold here, squeezing at the top of that glute. And then release. Inhale. Exhale. Press the bottom of the foot up to the sky. Squeeze. And release. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Press it up and hold. And release. Release that left knee all the way back down. Open up those knees wide. We're going to take a little pressure off our wrists here as we sink back into a child's pose. Reach long in front of you with those fingertips and take that forehead down to the mat. One more breath to reset here. And then slowly coming back up into that tabletop position, bringing those knees right back underneath those hips. We're going to lengthen that right leg now, coming onto the ball of the foot. Press the palms into the mat and then shift the shoulders back as you press that heel directly behind you, stretching through that calf. Pause here, especially if it feels really, really good. One more breath. And then shift forward, shifting those shoulders back over the wrists and gently elevate that right leg. Pausing here, drawing that hip down towards the floor, flexing the feet, spreading the toes, and then maybe reaching that left arm out long in front. Finding your sunbird balance here. If you've got that chair there, you can use it just as A reminder that you're supported there if you need it for balance. One more round of breath in. And go ahead, replace that left hand, bend the right knee. Flex the foot so that the bottom of the foot is aimed towards that sky, and we're gonna press that foot up, squeeze. Hold here. Don't hold your breath though. And release. 2 more. Lift and squeeze. And release. Last one. Big inhale. Exhale. Squeeze it up. Nice. And go ahead, release that knee all the way back down. Once again, we're going to extend that left leg and bend the knee. This time, we're going to take some big knee circles. So drawing a big circle with that knee towards the front of the room. Take as many as you'd like. I'm going to do about 3 and then switch directions. Pull it in and back. Make these as big as you'd like. 1 more. And then replace that left knee. Switching sides, elevate that right leg, bend the knee, big knee circles to the front. Moving with your breath. And then switching directions when you're ready. And when you're done, replacing that right knee next to the left. Spread those knees once again. Press back into that child's pose. Little reset here. One more round of breath. We're going to walk our hands back towards our body just enough so we've got some space to take that right hand underneath that left arm, drop into that right shoulder. If you feel the need to lift those hips up, go right ahead. You do not have to stay low. If you want to rock forward, lift those hips so that you can take that shoulder and cheek to the floor. You can do that. One more breath in. And on that next exhale, slide that left hand back towards the body. Using that left hand, push yourself back up. Extend that right hand out long in front of you. Make enough space to take that left hand, shoot it underneath that right arm. And you can keep those hips lifted or lie back down in that child's pose. Drop that left shoulder and that left cheek. Finding the twist through that shoulder, twisting through the upper back. On that next exhale, slide that right hand back. Use that hand to lift yourself back up. Coming back to that tabletop. If you can, we're going to take a down dog here. So to get into our down dog, we're going to take those hands slightly in front of our shoulders. Tuck those back toes, and you'll be taking a little wider version maybe than you're used to, making space for that belly. Lift the hips and press the heels down towards the earth, keeping those knees bent as much as you need to. Big breaths here. If you need a modified version of down dog, you could walk your hands back, stepping up, taking the palms to the chair, and stepping back, allowing that belly to hang here. And it's actually, I'm going to cue this stretch later on for everyone because it's wonderful. So I know some of you are still hanging out in down dog, so I'll meet you there. One more round of breath here. Big breath in. And then on that next exhale, we're gonna walk our hands back towards our body, and we're gonna sink our hips. So here's where you might need a prop. If you wanna grab that pillow, we're gonna come into a squat. So the pillow folded up to the height that you need it, so you're nice and comfortable. And then you can begin to take those elbows, press them to the inside of your knees, gently open those hips as you press the palms together, lifting the chest and sitting up nice and tall. Continuing to breathe here. Hopefully you've got 20 minutes to yourself and it's nice and quiet. Otherwise, you're just breathing to drown out distractions. We're gonna release this squat. So bringing the hands down to the floor. If you're okay with it, you can do two things. You can walk those hands back out in front of you to down dog, or you can use one hand to shift the weight into the back to begin to gently stand up and come to the top of your mat. And you can come back to that supported down dog with your palms on the chair. Or you can just shift into down dog from that squat. One more hold here, one more breath, holding for one more round of breath. If you are in down dog with your hands down on the floor, take a look forward and begin to walk to the top of your mat or waddle. Your feet will still be wide. You're slowly going to lift up just enough to rest those palms on the tops of the thighs. We'll do a few rounds of standing cat-cow here. So we'll drop that belly, sink it between those thighs, lift the chest, take a look forward, and then on an exhale, press the palms into the thighs, round the spine, pull that chin into the chest. Let's do two more of those. Sink. Nice little arch of that back. And then exhale, round it out. One more inhale. And then exhale. We're gonna take our spine neutral. And then if you'd like, strengthening through those powerful legs here, we're gonna reach our hands out in front, maybe touching the chair or maybe not. So you're in a little modified chair pose here. Your legs are pretty wide. Hold this. Next breath, press the feet into the earth. Rise, straightening out those legs. Shake it out if you need to. Nice job. That's not easy, and I'm not pregnant anymore. We're gonna take to some balancing poses here. So if you wanna move some of those props out of the way, go right ahead. We're gonna come into, I'm gonna face you. We're gonna come into a nice, steady mountain pose here. Feet about hips distance apart. Roll those shoulders down the back, standing up nice and tall. You can bring your hands together in prayer here. And we're gonna begin to take that right foot, turn those toes out, turn that heel in towards the inside of that left leg, and slowly slide that heel inside the leg. If you got your chair hopefully close by. To assist with this bounce, you can take that hand to a chair, and you take the other hand to a hip, and maybe slide that foot up inside the leg so you are standing on one leg. You've got that right knee turned away from the center line. So nice little hip opener here. And maybe pause here, finding something to focus on just out in front of you. Finding that balance. And nice and controlled, beginning to replace that right foot to the floor. As you do that, we're gonna step nice and wide, stepping that left foot out wide, Turning those heels in towards the center line, toes out, sinking our hips down towards the floor, coming into a goddess squat. From here, you can take those hands to the thighs. You can also use that chair here as a prop. We're gonna sink this left shoulder towards the center line. So as we take a slight bend forward, little twist, sink that shoulder down. And of course, you can hang on to this chair. And then come back center and switch sides. Right shoulder comes down to that center line. And then come center. Hands together in prayer, press through the feet. Nice strong legs, rise. Heel toe those feet in, closer to hips distance apart. Finding that balance between either side of the body, right and left. Once you find that balance there, begin to shift the weight into that right leg. Slide that left heel up the inside of the leg. Toes can be touching the floor. If you're feeling comfortable here, nice and balanced, or maybe you've got your hands on a chair or hip, you can begin to slide that foot up inside that right leg. Pausing here. Chest is lifted. Shoulders down away from the ears. Peaceful and balanced. We're going to release that left foot back down to the earth. Step out wide once again, returning to that goddess stance. Heels in, toes out. Sink those hips. Release the hands. We're going to take this right arm, sweep it up and overhead, and maybe use that forearm to prop it on that left leg as you take a little side bend here in your goddess. And then come center, right through to the other side. That right forearm can come to that thigh. You can also have your hands on that chair if you need that support here. Building a strong floor here, strong legs. Coming back center, hands together, press through the feet, rise. We're gonna keep those right toes turned towards the front of the mat. We're gonna take those back toes, turn them to the long edge of the mat, coming down into our warrior two. So you can have your hand right there on that chair as a prop if you need it. We're gonna bend that right knee over that right ankle. We're gonna press out through that left pinky toe. Keeping those shoulders over the hips. If you'd like to outstretch your arms to either side, roll those shoulders down the back. Shoulder blades squeezing, working towards one another. And then maybe taking a look through that right middle finger, right off the edge of that right middle finger. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more breath in, hands to hips. Begin to straighten that right leg. We're gonna take a little modified triangle pose here. So you can take that right hand to the chair, sweep that left hand up and over, or if you're comfortable with that triangle pose, you can take that right hand to the shin of that right leg. Maybe take a look up. And then pressing through the feet, rise back up into that warrior two. We're gonna step to the top of the mat. So use that chair for support or get yourself there. We're gonna do everything on the other side, but I'm gonna continue to face you. So we're just gonna step those left toes towards the short end of the mat, and then the right toes are gonna point towards the long end of the mat, coming into our warrior two on the left side. You'll sink that left knee over that left ankle or slightly behind. Get those shoulders square up over the hips. Reach through those fingertips to either side of the room. And pause here, settling into this strong and powerful warrior two pose. Maybe gaze over that left middle finger. Next exhale, begin to straighten that left leg. We're gonna take a dive down towards the left, coming that left hand to the shin or maybe to the chair, right hand up and over. Side, or not side angle, triangle pose here. I'm looking up at some beautiful clouds this morning. I'm hoping that you're looking up at something nice, or at least, I mean, you're probably looking at a ceiling, unless you're outside. We're gonna come back into that warrior two. Stay there for just one breath. And then we're gonna shift back to the top of your mat. Everybody step forward. We're gonna take a nice little forward fold here. It's kind of like a modified puppy pose. We're gonna take our hands to the back of a chair or to a wall. Once you do that, you're gonna step back far enough to where you've got just your arm's length between you and that prop. And then begin to push your hips back. You can bend those knees as much as possible. Sink the chest down towards the floor so that your ears come right alongside those arms. You should feel a nice stretch through the chest here. Nice stretch and release through that lower back and through the backs of the legs. This was one of my favorite poses when I was pregnant. Oh, I could hang like this forever. Just really took the weight off of that out of the belly. I could just let gravity pull me down. It felt wonderful. One more breath in. And just step towards that prop, slowly shortening that distance between you and the prop. And we're gonna come back down to a seated position. The easiest way for you to get there. So if you can squat down, you can take that squat, use the wall or a chair to come right down into that squat. One hand in front, one hand behind, coming back down to your bottom. I'm gonna shift towards you so you can see. We're gonna outstretch the right leg and pull the bottom of that left foot to the inside of that right leg. We're gonna take a nice little easy open twist here. So we're gonna take that right arm across the body to that left thigh, sitting up nice and tall, twisting from the bottom of the spine all the way up through chest and shoulders. Release tension through that right arm. I just felt myself, I was like straining there, lots of tension. Release that if you're doing what I was doing. And then walk yourself back towards the center. Take a little side bend here. You can bring that pillow to the inside of that leg and bunch it up however you need it. So you can drop that right arm to the pillow. So as low as you can make it. There's a plane flying overhead. We'll take our side bend as the plane goes by. Lift those left fingertips up and over. And then gently coming out of that side bend. We're gonna switch legs. So move that prop out of the way for just a moment. We're gonna pull that right foot in, outstretch that left leg. First, we'll take our twist, sitting up nice and tall, feeling those sits bones grounded into the earth. Walk that left hand across the body to the outside of that right thigh, and then sit up nice and tall. And then coming back center. Once again, you can use your prop to bring the floor up to you inside of that left leg this time. Fold it to whatever length you need it. I'm gonna have to wash this pillow because now it's covered in pollen. Take that left hand to the inside of that left thigh. Sweep those right fingertips up and over. Keep that chest nice and open. And just take this stretch easy. No pressure to like really extend towards those toes or anything like that. Just gentle opening of the right side of that body. A little lateral flexion of the spine. And then come back center. We're gonna come down into our final pose here. So you'll want to use lots of props so that you're not lying completely on your back for any long length of time. So if you've got blocks, you can use blocks. You can use extra pillows and blankets. But we're gonna come to our lying position for Shavasana to end this practice here. So whatever your props are, get them set up. Then, and this is wonderful, mind you, I might fall asleep out here. Go ahead and lie down on your props, line that spine nice and easily. Now, I'm automatically bringing the soles of my feet together. It's just my favorite. You can keep those legs long if you'd like, or you can keep the bottoms of the feet to the floor as you lie down, coming into this modified Shavasana pose. Allow those arms to fall off of either side of the body, and then you just feel this relaxation come across the chest as those arms just hang. So take this pose in any way you like, and just begin to return to that breath awareness. Enjoy these last few moments. Maybe even taking hands to the belly. Once again, returning to that sensation of inhale and exhale, noticing the shapes that your body takes during those breaths. Feel free to lie here as long as you can. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And I wish you the best of luck. More videos coming soon. Thank you very much.